So here's a Iwata Eclipse. This is the HPCS, just like my others. My wife had this one custom made for me back when they hadn't came out with these where you could purchase them yet, but we was out in the Iwata training facility, and she had this one custom made with the taller cup for doing the fire jobs, because I do, like when I do a big panel like a sign or a tailgate or something real big, I tend to run out of paint quick. So she had this one custom made for me with the tall cup. Really cool, very handy. Same gun, just a tall cup. It's the Iwata Eclipse HPCS, and you can see on it, I think you can see that it says custom, but you can buy these now. Here's the gun that laid down on me last night, and what happened is the needle and the nozzle, more than likely the nozzle in here has got a crack in it, and what it's doing, it's spitting and sputtering, and when you pull back on the lever, the trigger, what happens is when you let off and you're up close, you're still getting paint coming out the end, and you just can't control it. So, you know, normally when you let off the trigger like that, or even hold down on the air, you're not getting fluid coming out, and you can get up close, you can really do your detail work. Well, this, the way this airbrush is doing, the nozzle cracked or whatever's wrong, it's not allowing that to happen. So I'm constantly getting fluid coming out, and I can't control it. So I went to my other gun and finished out the project. But I wanted to show you the breakdown of this, and then I went and got parts this morning at Hobby Lobby. So what I did is I went up to Hobby Lobby, and I got a new needle. I'll try to get this up here to where you can see it. This is the new needle, and it'll tell you right here, it's got a description right here, so it tells you exactly what this is for. In this case, it's for the HPCS. It's also BS, if it's BS, CS, SBS, but this is Iwata parts, actually Iwata parts, so remember that Hobby Lobby carries those. And then the nozzle, here's the nozzle. Now this little booger is pretty high, so you really want to take care of these and keep them clean. Now here's something, there you can kind of see the part number, I believe. Here's something you got to remember on these guns. Because the nozzles are so small, I'm not saying you can't run metallic through them. I don't recommend running metallic through these, because if you do run metallic through them, you risk getting chunks of metallic up in these little nozzles. And what happens is, now here's the new nozzle. I'll show you how small this is. This little dude is small. And what happens is those metallic pieces get up in the ends of these nozzles, and as you can see, that's so tiny, and then your needle's pushing in and out, and what it tends to do is it tends to crack, because this is so thin right here. This little nozzle is so thin, that metallic in there, and then your needle constantly coming in and out, it's putting pressure on the side of this, and it cracks these. It's happened to me a lot. I finally learned my lesson. I quit using the metallic through these guns, and I just start using metallic through this gun instead. So I just try not to use metallic. I just won't use metallic in these airbrush guns anymore at all, because you're gonna end up costing yourself. Well, in this case, you can see with tax and all at Hobby Lobby this morning, $41.74. So and this is just these two items. So a needle and a nozzle was $41.74. So you can avoid that by just taking care of your gun, keeping it clean, and not running metallics through it. So I'm gonna start taking this apart. I'm gonna try to do this so that you can see it in the camera. So I'm just unscrewing the end cap. Now you notice I got some paper towels laid down here, and I'm trying to keep everything on these paper towels because you don't want to lose stuff. And I want to keep the new stuff, I'm going to keep it over here, the old stuff over here. All this stuff should be to where you can take it apart by hand. You shouldn't need any tools. when you put it back together, just run this stuff up finger tight. Don't put pliers on this stuff. I mean, if you got to take it apart, you got to use a little bit of force to get it apart. That's one thing, but don't put it back together with force. Just put it back together, finger tight, and that's all you need. All right, so here's the nozzle, the old one. So we're going to take this apart. Now, that was pretty tight, but I was still able to get it with my fingers. But see, I take these apart quite a bit and keep them good and clean. So, okay, so there's a protective cap over your nozzle. That's what actually holds the nozzle in. Now this nozzle, you're going to probably have to move it around a little bit to get it out. Because see, it sets right down in that channel. So it's tapered right here. So it's tapered and it just sets right down in that channel. Okay? We're going to take the end cap off. Now notice on all my guns I run an adjustable end cap. What this allows me to do is this trigger. So see, there's full blast. So watch this as I screw this in. Watch my finger on my trigger. See, it starts to go in. So I can actually adjust this down to where I can only pull back just a little at a time. So if you're wanting to do like hairs, like say on this eagle I'm doing, do the same stroke every time, then you could regulate this adjustable knob down on your trigger, and you just pull back to that stop, and it get that same hairline, that same consistency every time. Okay, I run these on all my guns. Now you notice on this other one, my custom gun, it's a little different. It's got a window here. I like this one the best, so what I'll do is I'll switch this one back and forth to the other gun. But it's got this window here, and it allows you to be able to see. See there, you can see your trigger movement. And you can also, if you need to clean it, you can come in here and you can kind of pull this and just clean it. All right, so now I'm going to undo this. This is what holds your needle in right here. So you just turn this down, finger tight, that's all it needs to be. So you just unscrew this just a little, and it's going to allow you to pull that needle right out of there. It's a little stuck. There. So there's the old needle. Now I'm going to save these pieces. I'm going to put them back in the packages that I take the new ones out. I'm going to mark on there used. And then I'll mark on there what it's doing. I'll put spit and sputtering. That'll let me know that that nozzle more than likely has probably got a crack in it. But what happens is if something happens to my new one, it's actually worse than what the old one was, and I don't have a new one here in the shop, then I can go and put that one in and get me by maybe until I get a new one. Because like today I went to Hobby Lobby, you know, it's, I don't know, 11 miles up there, and they had one nozzle is all they had left. Now they had several needles, but they just had one nozzle. So I got lucky and got there and got the last one they had. So here I'm putting the new one in. As you can see, you just set it right down in. Now this may be a little blurry because I'm getting really close to my phone here. I'm actually going to raise this camera up just a little bit. So yep, you just set this down in there like that. Okay, I'm going to hold that up so don't fall out. I'm going to put this cap back over it. This is what holds the nozzle in. So this is your nozzle cap. Now, as you see, you may not be able to see, but right here on the end of this nozzle, it's got a little hex head, so you could actually take that off. You can unscrew that as well. So if you get like gunked up paint in there or something, which you shouldn't. If you clean this every time when you get done, run thinner through it, and really keep it clean, you shouldn't have any problems with getting junk in there. All right, so now I'm going to get my new needle out. What I done is I just cut a slot on the back of these so that I can put the old one back in there, put tape over this, and on that tape I'll write, you know, what the problem was with the gun, but used, and keep it for a spare just in case. Pulling the new one out. Now on the end of these, they have a little protective cap. You just simply pull that off, put that over the side, and save that to put on your old one. Just gotta take my fingers and rub down along it, make sure it's smooth. We'll hold it up to the old one here. Now I can see it here, but I don't know if you'll be able to see the difference. I can see the wear marks on this old one. Now this old one I've probably got, oh my goodness, it's hard telling how many hours I've got on that thing. It's a lot. So I'm just pushing my new needle in, and you'll see it come out the end here. So there it just popped out. I'm going to move that back and forth a little bit. Okay, it seems to be working well. Make sure it's pushed in all the way, and just simply tighten your nut down good and finger tight. That's it. Then you can work it with your finger, and it's working well. Okay. All right, so now we're going to put the little protector cap back on. So we're going to put this right back on. Over the end here, finger tight. Now the last thing is our actual nozzle cap, and I'm going to switch these out. I want to show you the difference here. I've got two different ones I use. These are so small it's hard to hold them with my fingers so that you can see it. But I think you can see the difference in the hole size. This one here is the standard HPCS Iwata Eclipse. This one is off of my high performance Iwata Eclipse gun. So this one here's got a smaller hole size, and I like it better for, you know, for detail work and stuff like this. This is actually goes on my 30mm gun. This one here, the Eclipse, their standard 35mm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one, this end cap right on here, finger tight. And I'm going to switch out my adjustable end. Hold my trigger back all the way, and I run this down till I feel it pushing on my finger, and then I back it back up just a little bit. That's for wide open. All right, so there you got it. I just put the gun back together with new parts. I'll put this stuff back on my custom gun. This other end. These adjustable ends are really, really nice. You can get them. Iwata's actually got them. Now you can buy them separately. All right, so there you got it. You know how to take apart your Iwata gun now, put new parts in it. Make sure you keep it clean. Have fun with this, and I'll see you in the next video.